Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Revelations. This is a weekly Bible study where we dive into God's Word one book at a time. We are in the book of Genesis, and we'll be here most of 2021. If you are listening later than that, then welcome. And, we use a different preset method every day, and that allows us to read the same chapter with new eyes and to be able to pray and ask God into this quiet time that we have with Him and say, teach us. And sometimes God will come alongside us and comfort us in things that are just amok in our lives that we would rather not deal with. We kind of just push it aside. But the problem is when we do that, we actually continue to deal with it instead of actually just putting it aside. And that's what God was really speaking to me about today. As I opened Genesis 12 and looked at the who, what, when, where, why, and how of this chapter. And it's interesting, I was even thinking as we got started, is that the who has completely changed from the last chapters that we've been on, because now we have Abram and Sarai and Lot, and now we're being introduced to Egypt. And so all of these things that the story will continue, but we have new characters and things going on. And so new people with new things that they struggle with. And we find that Abram, as he is called now, before God gives him a new name, he really struggles with moving beyond things that trip him up. And I found myself in the same place yesterday. There was this thing that happened that overwhelmed me. And I found myself waking up this morning thinking, okay, I'm in firefighting mode, and all my thoughts were swirling around this one thing, and it was completely stopping me up from what I was supposed to be doing when I got up this morning. And how comforting it was to sit with God, to look at the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And in the how, this is what He gave me. Follow God's lead, but let the worries of the world not change your mission. Unfortunately, Abram allowed the worries of the world, this famine, to change his mission, to go completely to a different place that God hadn't called him to. Now, this thing that I'm dealing with isn't as big as a famine, but it really threw me off course for a day. And it could continue to do that if I allow it to. Instead of, like I was talking about earlier, this what next, God, it became, how can I handle this myself? Which is not where I should have been. So, take a deep breath. This is what I wrote to myself. Then think, what's true? Well, the truth is that, yes, maybe I did something that I shouldn't have done, but it really wasn't something that I probably could have foreseen, unless I would have taken time to maybe seek what God was trying to do in the circumstance instead of just kind of cutting somebody off. But those were boundaries that I had set up to keep going on my mission. And can I learn from this now? Take what I can learn from it and keep moving forward instead of trying to circumvent, run away, do all these other things and have it continue to work against me, because it would be taking me further and further off mission if I did that. So what do? I just said, you know what, God? This is in your hands. I'm going to continue doing this morning what I need to do this morning. And I hope that's an encouragement to you. We all have these places that trip us up. We can't allow them to keep tripping us. It's like we take this thing and we put it right in front of us and we just allow ourselves to keep tripping over it. Move it over, give it to God, and then keep going forward with Him. He can take care of it, and I know He will. And I just need to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you know what? The enemy will have won, and he will have said, see, this is something you just can't do, and this is where you're going to get stuck. And I'm not going to let him do that. I'm going to continue on following God and trusting that even in my imperfections, He has a mission for me and for you. So just keep trusting Him and following Him. And I'll see you next time right here on Daily Revelations as we wrap up Genesis 12. Have an awesome day.